Welcome to Brew'd, where we pour in and speak up. We are back for our October episode. I'm Latasha.
I'm Jamila.
And I'm Ani Keisha.
Today's topic is all about pouring from a full cup, the art of self-care and saying no. Let's be real. We've all tried to pour from an empty cup before, and that never ends well. Today, we're diving into what it really means to pour from a full cup. How self-care, boundaries, and saying no can literally change your power and peace. So let's talk about this past week. What were you pouring from your cup, Anakisha?
Well, this week I was pouring from grace and gumption.
Jamila, what about you?
Water was in my cup.
Water.
Yes, water. The doctor said hydrate, Jamila. So water was in my cup.
So you felt like your cup was a little dry, so you
It
had
was
to.
very dry.
So you're back wet now, I guess. Okay. All right. That's good to know. So I would say my cup was really low this week, but towards the end of the week, it kind of picked up. So let's get into our Brew'd spiel for today. Jamila, how does this topic apply to what's going on right now in the celebrity world?
Okay, so I actually have two stories that I want to mention today really quickly. Number one, I know everyone has seen the Gucci Mane and Keisha Kaur interview on the Breakfast Club where they talked about his diagnosis with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia.
Yes.
So it left a lot of people online saying that Keisha was more so of his handler versus his wife because she said that she monitors him very closely before episodes to kind of catch him. She'll limit his social media time, delete apps, block people. And Charlamagne asked the question to her, who does Keisha go to for support? Like, who do you speak to? And she replied and said, I don't speak to anyone. I'm my own therapist. I go to myself.
Interesting.
And interesting, right?
Very,
so the next
very.
story, also Kim Kardashian had a health scare. So on her season 7 trailer of The Kardashians, she revealed that the doctors found a little aneurysm during a MRI scan that she had. And so that was linked to stress, her co-parenting with Kanye, being a mom, juggling her multiple businesses because she is considered a high functioning woman. She's in the public eye, right?
Right.
So my question to you, two ladies, is can you be your own therapist, or does that teach you to cope in silence to keep you in survival mode, right? Also with Kim's health scare, with her being a high functioning woman, why do we still glamorize being a superwoman? Why do we still consider that as a badge of honor?
So I think I'm going to tie both of them in together. I know as a black woman, the job got to get done. Plain and simple. Doesn't matter who's my helpmate, who's here to do anything. The bills got to get paid, the kids got to get fed, the job has to be done.
Right.
And so that leads a lot of us to being high functioning. Where I have an issue is with Keisha Kaur saying she's her own therapist.
Therapist.
Yeah.
Because burnout is real.
It
Depression, functioning depression is
Oh,
real.
it's a thing.
Is a
Yes.
very big thing, and I think people we don't talk about it enough. We just say mental health or check on your strong friends, but no. So saying I'm my own therapist, I pray for her, and I want to cover her because I hope that one day she will see the benefit of getting a therapist,
Yes.
and releasing. And not trying to take it all on her back, because Kim is a prime example of one who, if you take it all on your back, it could lead to the stress and aneurysm. And she
Yes.
has 4 children to be here for.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to want to care for your family and lead in that aspect, but know that you can't pour from an empty cup, literally.
You cannot.
Yeah, I kind of worry about Keisha, that statement saying that she's her own therapist, because again, who is she going to refuel to be there for him. And I get, Gucci is her husband. You're supposed to be a helpmeet for your husband. So I totally get that aspect of it. But when your cup runs dry, you have to refill that cup. And if you're not talking to someone, I don't see how she can actually be there for him like she said that she is. And then as far as Kim, I would like to see Kim, somebody of her status. I know she's busy. She has all these businesses, but I mean, get a second nanny.
Yeah.
There
she
should.
has so many
She has a lot of
already.
I know, and we
nannies.
know
Yes,
Northwest
lifestyle.
has said that repeatedly. It may be that she's trying to not utilize those nannies because she know how her kids feel about that.
Yes.
But on the flip side, you don't want to be that low and that empty where
Yes.
you're getting an aneurysm, because aneurysms are deadly.
Yeah.
And so you don't
Yes.
want to, go there, especially someone, like I say, of her status. So that's my take on both of them.
I
Yes.
agree with both of you ladies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's get back to talking about what it means to pour from a full cup. Anakisha, can you define for us your definition of pouring from a full cup? How do you see that?
So pouring from a full cup for me is my yes has to align with my peace, okay? And if they're not aligned, then I'm not pouring from a full cup, I'm leaking, okay? And so for me, I feel like if I'm saying yes to everybody else, I'm saying no to me someplace
Yes,
else.
I agree.
And I have to make sure that when I get good news or when I'm having bad news, I don't want the good to literally feel just as bad as the bad news. I don't want it to feel just as heavy. And
Right.
so if it's starting to feel heavy, good is starting to feel heavy, it's time to rest. It's time to refill, and it's time to understand that, refilling that cup and resting and pausing is still productive. And I have a huge issue with being productive. If I don't
Right.
feel like I'm working,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not doing something.
Right.
And I had to learn that rest is still productive.
It's required.
Because if I'm refilled and refueled, I could be the best Anikisha in the world.
Yeah.
But you don't want to see me when I'm restless.
Yeah, I can actually tell when I'm getting there, because I'll tend to sometimes get a headache and I get very, very grumpy and mean. And it's like, okay, girls, take a step back. You need to get some rest today.
Right.
Yeah. So what about you?
I get real. To touch on what you just said, I can tell when I get really resentful. If I take on too many tasks, I start to get like real angry. Like, why did I agree to do this?
Yeah.
But I feel once you pour into yourself, people get from your overflow.
Yes.
So it's important to pour into yourself. That's what it looks like to me. Pouring from a full cup.
Yes.
People take from that because once you pour into yourself, they're able to get the best of you, and then you're able to be there for other people and yourself still.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah. And that can be a struggle. Speaking of which, let's talk about when you get guilty for saying no. And I want to read this that I saw earlier today, if I can find it here. Let's see. It was from Taraji. And so Taraji, and I quote this, it says, "At 50, I don't give a damn." She said, "It's not that I'm cold, I just don't have time to carry anyone else's issues. I know where I am, I know where I stand. I've got more time behind me than I do ahead of me, and the time in front of me is precious.
Yes.
I won't put up with what I used to because I don't have the time, but I'll always have time for joy, love, genuine, authentic people, and the good things in life." Taraji P. Henson. So what happens when you feel guilty about saying no? How do you cope with that?
I would say I used to struggle with this a lot because, like I said, in the past, separation anxiety led to me wanting to make sure I keep everybody around me and I hold on tight to you because I don't want you to leave me when I love you that deep.
Right.
But in that, I found myself saying yes, 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 because I'm afraid to say no because I'm afraid of losing you.
Ooh, yeah.
And so I had to, at 41, I'm not 50 yet, but at 41, I had to say, if I lose you because I choose me, then you wasn't meant for me.
Right. I
Yes. Yes.
If I'm choosing myself and you have a problem with it, then you only what you want me for what you can get from me. You don't love me as who I am.
Right.
Because you will understand if Keisha is saying no, she's tired. You would know that about me.
Right.
So that's how so I'm learning I'm like Taraji at this point. I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
I don't care
sometimes
at
you
this
can't.
point.
You just can't.
I'm guilty of that too because I feel like I genuinely want to be there for people. So
Yes.
it's hard to say no, and then when I say yes, I'm just like, why do I put so much stuff on my plate?
Yes.
But then it's kind of like it goes back into like people pleasing. You want to help each and every person in your life, but you can't. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You can't be there for everybody. That's the superwoman again.
Yes, that's that superwoman badge.
Trying
And
to be everything for everybody.
And if you was being there for everybody, and sorry to cut you off,
No, you're fine.
but if being there for everybody, you know, a lot of time you pour into people and they don't take what you poured into them. To me, that's abuse.
yes, it is.
That's abuse.
And then when you get to the point of, you've said no and you feel guilty, what about when people don't reciprocate
Oh,
that to
is just-
you,
that's the
and
worst.
so that's what I had to learn, that I'm there for everyone.
Yes.
But then when I started seeing that people didn't reciprocate that same behavior,
Yes.
it was time for me to cut you
Yeah.
off, and I had no problem with doing that at all.
and that's those boundaries that you start.
Yes, yes. So speaking of boundaries, let's get into it. How do you set those boundaries? Give me some examples of a boundary that you set, or multiple boundaries.
So I have 4. My 4 is be clear, but not cruel. Okay, I can say, hey, that's too much for me to take on right now. Maybe I can try it again later. I don't need to give you a PowerPoint presentation because that's not how peace works.
Yeah.
I just simply need to just say, no, not at this moment. And then I also anchor it in love. If I take, because some people won't take no.
Yeah.
Come on, you can do it. I know you can.
Right.
If I take this on, I'm not going to be the best at it. You know what I can give. I'm tired. I'm not going to be the best at it. I'm just doing it out of guilt at this point. And so then thirdly, say no early. I'm an introvert. I know I don't want to go to all these parties. So I would just say, I'll think about it. I used to say, I'll think about it. And then that day come and I got to find every reason to be sick. Right?
Right.
So now I'm just saying, no, I can't do it. And because if you start saying yes, then you're going to have resentment. You're going to be tired. You're going to be mad.
You're gonna hope we get canceled.
You're going to hope we get canceled.
Yes.
Say no early. You know you more than anybody. And then lastly, be okay with their reaction. And I know that sounds so easy to say, especially with someone like me dealing with separation anxiety. But like I said earlier, if they're for you, they'll understand your boundaries.
Right.
So you have to make peace with whether they accept it or not. But the loved ones, the ones that's going to ride with you, they're going to be with you when you say no and when you say yes. I think between the 3 of us, we say no on a lot of things.
Yes.
But we
Yes.
love each other, and
Yeah.
we're here presenting what we're presenting
Yes,
now.
we have. I feel like we have very healthy boundaries.
Yes,
healthy.
very,
healthy
very healthy boundaries.
boundaries.
Yes, yes. And then sometimes, I like to cross the line of those boundaries with y'all, that is, because I'm trying to teach my ladies and my girls some different things, get y'all used to some different, alternative things in life,
That's
in a good way. But, so what about your boundaries?
Oh, I would share this one boundary that I have that I tease with my sisters a lot. I don't do pop-ups at all. That's a big boundary for me. Sometimes my sister, she'll text me and say, I'm on my way. I'm on the interstate. No, don't do that. Like, that's something I set in place years ago. I don't do pop-ups at my house, sorry.
No,
you
that's
have to
right.
call first. And that's another thing. Don't apologize for the boundaries.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes,
Don't,
I mean,
yes.
I don't feel like that's rude. I like that's my safe place. So I like it to look a particular way.
That's true.
And
We know that.
we know that. So if my pillows aren't fluff, you're not coming. Like, no.
And it
Like,
doesn't matter how much you say,
yes.
your house is beautiful. If it's not Jamila's beautiful, you're not coming in.
Yeah, you're not. You
And
can
it's like, if I
forget
don't
it.
have anything to offer you, if I don't have some fruit, water, if I don't then go to the grocery store, like, don't pop up, because I want to serve and present, be
Right.
presentable. So that's the boundary that I've had for years, like, no pop-ups at my house.
Well,
Like,
that's
That's a
Yes, no.
very, very good boundary. And
Yes.
some people, I think for our household, they just know not to even try it because they know how my husband is. He
Well, I
was
feel
like,
like where we live at, you ain't popping up. You
yeah.
purposely
oh
came
yeah,
here.
Is that, yeah,
you
you
gotta
came
go
for
down
a reason.
75,
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
This is not off of
No.
75.
Yes,
Nowhere
yes,
near
you
so.
it.
had to Florida going to my house, so no.
And I know for me, I have, it was hard, but I did have to learn to just set those boundaries. And like, it's been so busy for me this month, and I felt guilty on some things, but I literally had to turn down a lot of speaking engagements because I was just tired.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to put my body through what I put my body through last October
Oh,
because
yes.
it warped me, and I had nothing to give at. Like last year at the end of October, I felt like a robot. I was just going through the motions. So
Yeah.
this year I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Even when they called, like, could you please, please, please? I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. I just
Right.
cannot do it. And so that has been very difficult to me, but I had to do it because I didn't want to end up like Kim,
Yes.
having an aneurysm because stress can kill you. And, so you have to set those boundaries for a reason.
But isn't that amazing how we know that, like, I feel like that's a going trait. Stress can kill you, but people still be stressing you out.
Yeah. Yes, for no
They still be
reason.
stressing. Wow.
I need you. I told you no nicely
Yes.
twice. The third time might not be so nice.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny that we know these things and we're still putting that
Yeah.
added pressure. The more we respect each other's boundaries, the more I think the happier we'll all be.
Yes.
And comfortable.
Yes, and I have to tell people all the time, and especially one of my staff members, because she's notorious for doing this. I'm like, girl, I'm off today. Do not call me. Like, the building better be burning down. That's the only way to call me today. And sometimes I just have to answer, being in management, but I'm like, y'all, give me a little grace. And so now when I'm off, because it's still a certain person that's still going to call me,
Right.
but they'll write on the board like, Latasha is off, try not to bother her today. So I appreciate that for them because they understand that I
Yes.
need that. So I think if you be vulnerable and let the people around you know, hey, I'm just tired, I don't want to be bothered, then
Yes.
they'll be more accepting to not bother you.
Yes.
So yeah. Okay, so as we move on, let's talk about how we reclaim that time and refill our cups and what do we do? Give us some examples.
I would say for me, meditation has really helped me a lot.
Okay.
I even noticed my tone was softer when I started to meditate and just sit in silence. I would do guided meditation at first, but now I just kind of just lay on my floor in my bedroom and just lay there and just silence and just try to calm your mind because you're still thinking about everything that you have to do. I got to do this, I got to do that.
Right.
But that has really helped me, even with
Oh,
my
the beauty
speaking
of having
tone.
one
Yeah.
child.
People say that. I feel like people look at my life and be like, okay, you only got one child and, you really don't have much to do. But
Oh,
I tell people that all the time, like, my load is my load, your load is your
good.
load.
That's
And this
true.
is what God gave me to handle. This is what I can handle because Jamila takes on stress way worse than anybody else. And we all know that. I
Yes,
stress
you
over
do.
this,
You
all
do.
these things,
You have
honey.
to say, it's okay, Jamila.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, like-
So, yeah.
But
But I get what you're saying
yeah.
about the noise and trying to
Yes.
quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because somewhere in my house, there's a teenager arguing. Don't look at me. Don't touch my stuff.
Yeah.
Then I have a 3-year-old. But some of the things I do, and I wasn't always this way, I'm diving deeper into my faith. And it's been like a year for me getting back to that place. But to be honest, I also do solo days. Currently I'm in furlough with my job and I have my business, of course, but I still drop my kids off at school. I don't let the little ones stay home from daycare because I have this
Yeah.
time off. I still have the same routine and I go do something for me. I even have to tell my husband, I talk to you in the morning. I'm not talking to you on your lunch break.
Right.
I'm not talking to you on your way home because I'm in the studio. If when I say I'm in the studio, I'm blasting music, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm
Right.
cleaning, or I'm just vibing out to what I want to do in the moment. And so I actually make it purposeful. Like, don't call me during this time. D&D on my phone, because I just need a time to just think about my day to day or what I have going on, or just decompress from what's going on in the world.
Of course.
So yeah, solitude for me is my solo days. I make them purposeful.
And for me, I'll say that I do so much for self-care. So I have a monthly massage package, and so I go get a massage. Typically, I'll go on Mondays before I go to work. So that's one of the ways that I kind of decompress. And then, of course, like I'm always scrolling, like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. And if I see something I like, I'll DM myself. So that makes me feel special, sending my own self a own DM, because then I can go back and say, hey, I saw this, so I'm going to go purchase this or something.
Right.
And then I love to read, so sometimes I'll just sit out back with a cup of coffee and a good book. And I just don't want to be bothered. And like you, have only one child, but a lot of people say, well, you know, you got the one child. But some days, and even my husband will say this, you actually, some days it's like you're a single parent because of his job. I'm doing all the running around. I'm taking him to practice. I'm taking him to school. I'm going to tournaments here and there. And so, but I love that. But to give back to myself, I just kind of shut down, you know, whether it's just binge watching my favorite series, Scandal. If that's all I want to do is sit and watch Scandal. And I know every episode, and I watched it about 30 times, the seasons, but I go back and I watch Scandal. So I just find different ways. And of course, shopping.
Yeah, you said Scandal. My show is Greenleaf. My kids say, Mommy, you seen this 50 times. I don't care how many times.
Exactly. I can repeat the words, honey.
Yeah, Greenleaf is good.
And it's, for me, it's always something I did not see. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that the last 50 times. The 51st time I saw it, 52 I caught it. But I love Greenleaf. And like you said, just unpacking or doing whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Reading, watching my Netflix show, just having a good time with me. And my solitude is what I try my best to do. But you're going to have to share that massage package. Like,
Before work.
when is that subscription?
Before work.
Especially on a Monday, it's just, you know, it set the tone for my day. And so, and I go to Danielle at Renaissance, but it's hard. She's booked to next January, so it's hard to get in with her. And so, but, you know, I faithfully, you know, I go and get my massage. Yes.
Okay.
And so, I tried one time before, because I used to wouldn't get my nails done, but I used that even as a form of self-care. And it gives me an opportunity to put my phone down. I can't have anything in my hand. And so, but then I find myself still at the nail shop trying to do this. So, but the massage, I totally unplug and nobody can bother me. And so, but yeah, I do it once a month.
Well, if there's any great masseuse out there that offer like a membership package or a subscription package, hit us up at Brew'd, because I would love to tack that in, because I always say I just want a massage. I have like this lower back pain, and then you know, you just deal with it, but I would love a massage, and if I can get a good little package deal, I'm taking it.
Yeah, that, and I actually had someone tell me the other day, because I was walking out of my office and somebody said, you need a massage, don't you? Because they could. I said, you can tell by my shoulder. And so they was like, yeah, I can see the tension all in your shoulder. And so I'm like, oh gosh, Danielle, can you get me early? But yeah, it's very, very therapeutic for me for that. Yes. So in just a few seconds, I'm going to put up a quick graphic of something while we bring on our guests onto the set. Jessica, come on in. Be careful.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
Welcome to Brew'd.
Welcome to
So
Brew'd. We good?
Yeah. We're all the way.
Yes.
Close.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So we are back, and in the studio with us today is my friend Jessica Denard of Whitman Life, and she's our first official sponsor of Brew'd. So first of all, Jessica, I want to tell you thank you for being a sponsor of Brew'd. And you've heard we're talking about pouring from a full cup today and the art of self-care and saying no. So give us a little bit of your take on what it means to pour from that full cup, and how do you do your self-care, and tell us all about you, and then we'll get into, the sponsorship information.
Okay, awesome. So I'm from Macon, and my birthday's tomorrow. I'll be 46.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
I absolutely love this topic because I just started a book. I think it's Mel. Her name, I know her first name is Mel. I'm really bad with names, but Mel, and it's called Let Them.
Oh,
yeah.
that's our show next month,
that's our
is Let
next-
Them, yes.
So I don't have a lot of time to sit and read. So I do audiobooks.
Audible.
So
Yes.
if I'm cleaning, if I'm in my car, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm listening. Because that's just, it helps my subconscious, it helps keeps me, I love it so much. But as part of, I loved your saying no. At 45, after having a hysterectomy as well recently, I don't have anything in me as far as I wake up and I have this much, and I know I have this much, and whoever is going to, I know what I need to give, and it's been a roller coaster to say hormonally. So I really, really am enjoying this topic because setting boundaries has always been hard for me, but I'm learning how to do that.
Yes.
And that is in having the time of saying, same thing. Like, I don't want to talk to you right now. And my husband's like, well, I'm eating lunch. Well, okay. But I don't want to talk to you right now. And it's not being mean, and it's not saying sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I'm
saying
training
sorry.
my agents, especially my female agents, it is crazy how often I catch them going, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for?
Yeah. What did you do?
What did you do wrong?
Right.
And I was taught that years ago when I was in bartending. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm telling you, I don't know what happened because that woman hit my hand so hard.
Oh, wow.
And I looked back and I said, excuse me? And she said, what are you sorry for? She said, we as women have been trained to constantly say, I'm sorry.
We have.
She said, don't ever say it again.
Yeah.
And because she hit my hand so hard, such an impression on me, because normally that would not have been my reaction. It
It would've been a hit
and nice. Yeah. So it really did take me back.
Yeah.
But what else am I supposed
And you recently, I know we don't have to get deep into this, you took on being a caregiver too for your mother-in-law.
Yes.
So I know that, has been a transition that you and I talked about, and that's one of the things that a lot of us don't realize that we experience is caregiver burnout also is
yes,
very,
that's
very
the thing.
real,
It's very real.
So you do have to because you can't care for her with the empty cup. So you really have to constantly keep yourself refueled. And I'm speaking because I was a caregiver for my mom before she passed away when she was sick. And I can remember how burnt out I got taking care of her. So, yes.
Yeah, I did it for my grandmother, my mother when she had cancer, and now we moved my mother-in-law in. So with dementia. So this is my first time. Like, I've done the stroke and diabetic, I've done cancer, but the
Dementia's
dementia
different.
It's very different.
It's
is very
I've heard
difficult.
that's very
I have a
difficult.
family member dealing with dementia, and it's very difficult for those family members to understand that she looks like herself, but she's not herself.
Right.
No, she's essentially 4, is what they told us.
Yeah.
And it's also hard not to take things personal.
Yeah.
Yes,
When you get
yes.
that other side and you think, excuse
Yes.
me?
I'm
I'm sorry, what did you say? And then
Right.
you have to step back and say, this is not her,
Right.
and not take it personal. And we're
Right.
having those episodes a little bit more. My husband and I, in fact, we had one last night, and then I'm just sitting there crying, and he's like, why are you crying? I'm like, because it hurt my feelings.
And you're human,
I'm
yeah.
human, and it hurt. I said, we went and got nails done, hair. We went and got banana pudding. Like, I did all the things, and then she's going to just
Yeah.
Yeah.
be mean.
Right.
Be mean. And I thought, oh, so I had to just get up and walk away, and I thought we just both need a timeout.
Yeah, and sometimes you do have to just stop and take those time out so that, again, because it's like, okay, I know you're not feeling your best, but then you're not making me feel my best. And I need to feel my best so that I can take care of you. So, yeah. And then another thing for me, as far as the whole caregiver thing, like, for instance, when you are a sports mom, and I'm sure, you know, if you had kids to say play sports, you know, there's just some days where I hear that basketball just bouncing in the house. And, you know, so you even get burnout for that. As much as I love seeing my son play and being there, you know, but that's real too. And you do have to take a step back from even that. You know, mom guilt is real.
It is.
You know, I get so guilty. You know, I can't miss a game. You know, now I know I got to go out of town soon for work, and I'm like, okay, how am I going to get my flight back to make it in time for this game? And I just been looking at flights every day because of that mom guilt. And, you know, my husband said, it's okay. I'll be there. I can make sure I'm there. But it's nothing like when mommy is there. So how do you deal with that mom guilt, ladies?
You know, I have 6 children, and for a long time, 5 of my children were doing something, whether they were singing in chorus, basketball, football, dance. And I remember trying to be everywhere, and I was burnt out. And that one time I sat in the parking lot at the church. They had like rehearsal. And my youngest daughter is very big on mom needs to see me perform. And they were just rehearsing, and I just took a minute. Like, they're going to be in there for 10 minutes. I'm going to take 10 minutes to myself. Ooh, she came out, she was so heated. You couldn't even come and see me sing. And I was like, you're rehearsing. It's not, you're not even singing for real. And she was so angry and upset. And I just had a little breakdown. I had a breakdown, and I remember crying. I called my mom. And if you know me, if I call my mom, it's bad, because I normally am superwoman in my house, in my life, and I don't call my mom for every little nook and cranny. So if I call her, it's like, Mama, I just need a shoulder to cry on. Yeah. And she called all the kids over and maybe bring everybody, the baby too, bring all of them over to my house. And she gave me a weekend break. And she had a talk with my children about how much both my husband and I do, and how much we stretch ourselves thin. And they had to come have a self-realization moment for themselves. And, you know, after that, my older kids got a lot better. Now, my baby girl, she's working on it. But the older kids are just like,
time.
But the older kids are just like, when she gets like that, oh no ma'am, oh you won't do that to mama again. You know, like it was pretty bad when that happened. I had a really bad breakdown that day. And so I tell you, that mom guilt, you think it goes away, I think at that point, because we want to show it so much, we have to just let the kids know there's going to be a day, it's going to be a time, but even in my absence, I'm here. If I have to give you a locket, a bracelet, or a little saying, you know, whatever it is that I say to you before school every day, like what Giselle, I say, you go to school and be amazing because, and she finishes off by saying, I'm amazing. That's our ritual. So even if she don't see me throughout the day, I told her she was amazing for the day, and she's good to go, but I got to do it. She gonna remind me if I don't.
What about you, Jamila?
I have mommy guilt all the time. Like, even yesterday, I was like in and out the house, and Jabari was like, Mama, you left the house like 4 times already. Like, you gonna go again? I mean, because it's things that I have to do. And I feel like as moms, they're so used to us all the time. Like, no shade to the dads. But, you know, it's nothing like having your mom there. And even like tonight, he was like, where are you going? Damn. Like, he just wants me there, like in the house 24/7
Especially the
with
boys.
him.
Oh,
the boys,
yeah.
yes. And with the basketball, going back to that, it can be 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, son, it's time to wind down. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that noise. But I just feel like, I don't know, my mom guilt is just so deep, especially like when I had my shop. It was so many moments that I missed because I was in that shop 24/7, even on Saturdays. And it's time that I can't get back. And I'm just like, I wish I would have spent more time with my child during those moments versus working so much.
Yeah.
And I hate that it's time
I
that
can
you
see that.
cannot get back.
And I understand that fully because when KJ was little, I worked second shift at the hospital. So I worked 11 in the morning to 9:30 at night. And so then when he started like kindergarten or pre-K, I ended up on day shift. And I can remember the very first day I got him ready for school. And so he came downstairs and he was like, "Where's my bacon and eggs?" And I was like, "Boy, what bacon and eggs? You can eat a Pop-Tart in the car." And so I was like, "Really?" And then we got in the car and he said, "Oh, Mama, you didn't put my belt on." He said, "Daddy said you got to put the belt inside of the tag."
Oh my goodness.
So me and my husband that night, I said, "Look, my life ain't set up like that." I was like, this boy was asking for bacon and eggs. I had the belt on wrong, but I cried because I felt so guilty because I had missed so much from the age of 1 to 3 with him working on second shift. And so now that's why I try to just make myself available for everything. But it was just like, I was like, we can't sit down and cook breakfast,
Superwoman
But,
again.
but my husband had set that tone for him, and like he wanted that bacon and eggs. I'm like, boy, you gotta eat some dry cereal in the car. And so, what about you, Jessica?
My kids are grown, and both of my kids are out of the house. So my daughter just turned 21, and my son will be 24 soon.
Okay.
Ooh, wait a
My
minute.
mom guilt comes from
Don't rush it.
my kids having to grow up with me. That's where my mom
Yeah,
guilt comes
okay.
in. Because they're not in the house for me to do any of these things anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think back and I think they really had to grow up with me. And even though I owned a business in my 20s, so I didn't have to put them in daycare.
Good.
I did things like Mom's Morning Out, and I was
Yeah.
so bad. We did Ingleside.
We did that one too.
The first one, they had that two-way mirror. The teacher comes out and goes, "Do you know you can leave?" And I said, "I'm not going anywhere. I want, and she's like, "You only have 3 hours." I didn't even leave then.
Wow.
But so I was very fortunate in that. I did get to keep my kids home, and I only put them in the little church groups so that they could have social interactions.
Yes.
But it was as they grew up and a divorce and
Yeah.
things of that nature that I look back and think I could have done, like now that I'm the age that I am, I could have
Yeah.
done that a lot better.
Okay.
But then
think we
again,
all
I have
feel
to
like it.
let it go.
Yeah.
And just focus on the present moment and bring that to their attention and say, look, at this, I don't want you to repeat my mistakes.
Yes.
So I wish I had done this when I was your age.
Yes.
And so I'm happy that my son being 24, I was already pregnant with my daughter at that time.
Oh, okay.
And so he's kid-free, baby mama drama-free. Like he's none of that. We're not there yet.
Right.
So I'm really happy that as far as that goes, that's where we are in life. But in having an adult relationship with my children, I kind of mourned that whole
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
a different. There was a client of mine that once told me, "You are going to mourn it and you are going to be sad about it." But then that new relationship that you get with them as an
Yes.
adult, you get to have, it's just something that you can't replace. And it really is.
That's true.
Because my daughter is my best friend. She's 21 and she really is my best friend. She's my built-in broke best friend.
Aren't they all? Aren't they all?
My 17-year-olds, my husband is still like, they're still kids. And I'm like, listen, at some point, I just need to be their friend at some point. But I'm always going to be mom.
They had to be out of the house first.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need to
If
be out
you're
of the
in my
house.
and you're eating my food and you're under my roof, you still have to come in. I mean, that's why my 24-year-old
Yes.
isn't there. He paid rent. He did all the things, but you could not bring people to my home.
Right.
Yeah.
And you had to be in at a certain time, like 1, because I'm still not going to go to sleep
Until,
Right.
until I know
yes.
you're home.
Right.
And if you want that freedom, you have to give my mind that freedom, and you got to get out of my house.
That's
because
true.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, I'm a mama. I can't turn that off.
Clear, but not cruel boundaries.
Yes. All righty. So let's get into our pour in and speak up segment. We got a couple of questions that we received. I think we have 2 questions. And so, Anna Keisha, we'll let you take over for right now and get into those questions.
All right, so the first question, why does saying no feel so uncomfortable? Like even when I know I need rest, I still feel bad for choosing myself. How do y'all deal with that? And this question is from Tiffany.
I'll go.
Okay.
I feel like the guilt it goes back to people pleasing a lot because you genuinely want to be there for people. I know with me, I have a lot of guilt when I do say no, but it just depends on what it is. Like what
Yes.
you ask me, basically. If I have time for it, I can do it. But if I
Yes.
don't, it's kind of like, let me get back with you on that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just feel like with me, it really just depends on what it is. It just depends on what it is, how I can deal with it at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, again, I would say, check your circle, check your friends, because if, they can't understand that boundary, then you probably need a new friend circle. Because again, I feel like if they're close to you, they should be picking up on those little cues from you
Yes.
anyway to say, oh, what's going on with you? I know I've had several people that I'm very close with. They'll say, okay, you okay? What's going on? I can hear it in your voice, And so you just have to look for those cues, and it's okay. Don't feel guilty for that.
Yes.
Yeah, don't be a
Yes.
people pleaser.
Second question. I've been saying yes to things in my relationship just to avoid conflict. Parties I don't want to go to, favors I don't have energy for. How do I start saying no without feeling like I'm being difficult? That is anonymous. I don't blame
In their relationship?
No, it says yes to things in their relationship just to avoid conflict. So parties that they don't want to go to, or favors she don't want to do. I don't have the energy, and how do I start saying no without feeling like I'm being difficult? So it is in the relationship.
Go ahead and set the tone now, because you're going to keep saying yes to things that you don't feel comfortable, like spaces you don't feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
So I feel like, speak up now instead of waiting, because you're going to start resenting him, and it's going to be arguments, and you're going to start pulling back. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So just set the tone and say no. Okay.
Yes, setting the tone is important. I can remember, this is like very, very probably TMI, but I can remember one time my aunt told me, you have to stop being the sugar daddy of this family.
Oh.
And so I was like,
Ooh,
wow. I was like, oh my gosh, is that what they really see me as? But it was just like everybody in my family would go to me for everything. And so, and when my aunt said that, I said, well, what are they going to do? She said, but if you keep helping them, they're never going to help themselves. They're never going to help themselves. And I can remember we had a very traumatic thing happen in our family, and I can remember after that telling everybody, okay, heal, savings and loans is closed. Like, Hill Insurance Agency is closed. Like, I'm not doing that anymore because there's too many resources out there available
Yes.
for you to have life insurance, for you to
Yes.
save money,
Yes.
which is why we have Jessica here today. And we're going to, that's a
Yes.
good transition because I did have to have that conversation. And, thankfully, my aunt, she gave me that epiphany. I was like, damn, I don't want to be the family sugar daddy, And although you want to help people, but you can't help everybody. So, Jessica, tell us all about what you do and how you educate people on the importance. People, please listen at this. This is so important.
So with Woodman Life, I am a fraternal insurance counselor.
Okay.
So one of my first and foremost passions is just educating. I feel like when someone says, what do you do for a living? If I were to say a life insurance agent, it's like somebody running up on a used car salesman.
Yes.
They're not going to give you their number because they don't want you calling them every week, hey, blah, blah, blah. That is not my style at all.
Okay.
Because my take on this is that we all know that we're going there.
We are.
Yeah.
We don't know how we're going. We don't know what his time is. But that peace of mind that comes with knowing that if anything happens to you, that your family can still pay the bills.
Yes.
And they can still buy their groceries.
Yes.
They can they can keep the roof over their head. They can pay that car note.
Yeah.
Or it can be in a situation as in my mom. My stepfather worked for a construction company here for 25 years. So when she became sick with cancer and passed, I didn't even think about it. I thought for sure he was smart enough to do this.
Right.
For sure it came in the benefit package. For sure it did.
And
Right.
it didn't.
It did not.
It did
Oh,
not.
wow.
And his sister stepped in and paid.
Oh, wow.
And that was a eye-opening moment because I assumed, and we know what assuming is.
Yes.
I assumed,
Yes.
and I never assumed again.
Okay.
And at that point, I got protection on myself, my husband, my children. And people say, why did you take out on your children? I'm not taking it out on my children for their age now or in thinking of that.
Right.
I mean, but if it happens, they are
It's
protected.
there.
I'm protected.
Oh,
I have a moment to grieve.
right.
I can take care of what needs to be
Without
taken care of.
Yes.
But I also protected them for when he's 20, 30, 40, when he gets that family, when he starts having those grandbabies. And I designed the policy that he's in so that it grows a living benefit of cash value, and it also grows his death benefit.
Okay.
Life insurance is not a one-size-fits-all. It's just not. And there are so many variables to it, and there are so many different policies. And in my line, I have seen where I have grown, I mean, when I say like 70-year-olds come to me, and they're looking at their annual letter and they don't understand what's happening because 20 or 30 years ago, they listened to a salesman
Yes.
and they didn't understand what they were doing because no one taught them. And now this product that you were told would last forever isn't going to last
Gotcha.
because you weren't even taught how to turn it over and read the illustration. You weren't taught that this is a variable premium. The older I get, the more this costs. So when I had a 74-year-old man sit across from me and start crying because he had stage 4 cancer, his wife had no more protection. This was his plan.
Oh, wow.
That was all his eggs in one basket. His premium had been paying $120-something all this time. It was over $1,200. It had eaten all of his cash value. He had
Wow.
nothing.
Oh,
That was heartbreaking to me. And it was in that moment I said, if I can't sit down with someone and teach them and have them understand and make an educated decision for their family, I will walk away because God blesses me one way or another.
Right. Come on,
So
Jessica.
when I do the right thing, I'm blessed.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
So
true.
I don't chase a sale. That's not what I'm about. I chase education and I chase empowerment.
Okay.
Yep, and that's why Jessica and I have we formed this bond, and we could talk about any and everything, can't we, girl? So, well, thank you again, Jessica, so much for being a sponsor of Brew'd. We'll have more from Jessica throughout our social media posts, and you know, she's gonna provide this education because, of course, in the Black community, we really need it.
Yes.
And so I'm grateful for Jessica, and you know, I was very fortunate enough to meet Jessica, and you know, I had insurance, of course, but then I have upped that and did some other things, and so I appreciate that.
You're very welcome, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay, so as we get ready to close out this episode, let's give a reflection on today's episode, and you know, how's it going to help you during this upcoming week, Keisha?
Well, it's going to help me a lot because I've already kind of started. You know, earlier this week on Facebook, I talked about how I'm not going to start. I'm no longer protecting the other side of the story. I feel like that's another part of self-care. Now, I wanted to share that quickly. I'm not going to let you lie on me anymore or just tell a side of story that people say, well, don't worry about it. You know how you are. No, I'm going to tell the truth. So we're going to start there. Start with making sure that you tell both sides of the story when it's dealing with Ani Keisha. And then 2, I'm going to continue to lead with grace and continue to have my gumption, to have the willpower and faith, fight in my faith to continue to go throughout the days because it's can be a little struggling out here lately,
Yeah.
society-wise.
Yeah, because you look, I ain't gonna tell them how you went viral.
Oh, that's another story.
Yeah. I actually went viral on TikTok. That's why I try to go hide.
Yeah.
That's where you get the real Keisha. I try to go hide over there and messed around and went viral. I got too real. I was too honest.
But that's okay though. Like I told you, that's okay.
You're gonna speak her mind.
You know how I speak my mind? Because for so long, my therapist told me when I was a little girl, because I was a fighter, but I was like the blow up kind, that I would let so much build, and then I exploded. And she said, you got to let some of this tension out.
Yeah.
And so as I get older, and I'm no longer giving a damn, I literally let it out. What I'm thinking, how I feel, things that we have always swept under the rug, like Mean Girls and other locations. Things that, you know, people that have done you wrong, or like I said earlier, the memes are always telling us to be okay with someone doing us wrong, but they don't realize that eats you up on the inside. It's eating me up to know that I have to walk around knowing somebody lied on me, but you got to be the bigger person. No, the bigger person is just going to tell you the truth.
When they go low, I'm going lower.
Cardi taught us that.
Yeah, I'm going lower. I
I'm gonna
no
go low.
longer go high. I tried the high road. It didn't work.
I don't even think it's going low to tell the truth.
Yeah, it's just being
It's
truthful.
being truthful.
Yeah.
And so you don't start a lie, I won't have to start the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, Kendrick.
What about you, Jamila? What's your takeaway?
My takeaway with this whole segment is not overextending yourself.
Yes.
I shared this with you guys, this week, that a few weeks ago, my body told me to take a step back and told me to stop. Because we do burn out, we do take on other people's tasks that really ain't ours to take on. So that has taught me a lot to really just, focus on self, pull back, don't take on tasks that's not yours. And, I'm not going to say similar health scare, but I had a health scare like Kim's.
Yeah.
And just sitting there, on this monitor, it just had me thinking like, okay, wow. I'm just sitting here thinking like, okay, all of this ain't even worth it. I'm sitting here doing all this ripping and running. I'm sitting here showing up for people, and my phone is dry.
Oh, don't that hurt?
My phone, you can't take it personal, Jessica. You can't take it personal.
My phone rained dry during my hysterectomy time. Rained dry. I had
It's
just a
dry.
few.
Yes.
Just a few.
You
My
can't
husband
take
made
it
a
personal.
comment. We have so many friends. I said,
Yeah.
but
Those associates,
Do I?
boo.
That's a good one. Do I?
Yeah, those
Are
are
they really?
associates.
I mean, I figured it out, but
Yeah.
I saw the ones that checked in. I saw the ones that showed up.
Yeah,
And that's
so-
important.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
I
I had
did.
somebody told me yesterday. We spoke about this. No one owes you loyalty.
That's true.
Didn't a wise man tell me that the other day?
Yes, no one owes you
But
loyalty.
yes, I just feel like, just recharging, pouring into your cup. Don't give it for sure if you don't have it to give. Because I didn't have it to give, but I still gave it anyway. And cup
Sugar
run up
daddy.
dry. Run up just
We're going to have
dry.
to come back to that no one owes you loyalty.
Yeah.
Because because I feel like we're loyal to each other. And to not owe it, like I feel like I owe that to my sisters. So like I don't know.
You
people
just
have
gotta know how to give it to.
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
know
Maybe
who to
that's
give
it.
it
Because
to.
I expect you to be loyal. Because baby, when I
Yeah.
love you down.
And I'm
gonna
genuine.
be loyal, and I'm genuine.
And I want to show up for you, and I would hope and pray that you show up for me. And
Yes.
sometimes you do, but I just kind of feel like, when it got dry and got quiet, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Girl,
ain't where would you be at? Like,
Yes. But what happening? I thought we were cool.
we got to get you hydrated, girl.
listen, that is.
The doctor told me to get you some water. Put that coffee up.
Put that coffee up, honey.
Well, listen.
That water
dehydrated.
does. That water does water.
Feel like-
Yes. That water
Listen.
Pedialyte, yes. So,
See,
Jessica,
we got-
see that's for Brew'd After Dark. So, Jessica,
Look, the spill was turned into the steam room.
yes, the steam room. So, Jessica, what's your takeaway?
The boundaries, I feel, setting a boundaries I think is harder for women because the way that maybe we were raised.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we are raised just as yes people,
Yes.
just saying yes all the time. And being the oldest of 5, it was something that it was required.
Yeah.
So I was trained at a very young age. This is what I have to do.
Yeah.
So I always felt I had to do more, be more. And being able to be at the age that I am, because it really does come with age.
It does.
It does. And even learning that not everything honors a response, and even that in itself is saying no and a boundary.
Yeah.
It's a lesson, and it's something. I mean, yes, it's a lesson, but it's something that you have to do every day. And to let them, when y'all do that, that's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
Because it is something that I think I'm in chapter 9, but I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
And
Well, you just gonna have to pull up a seat with
I'm
us to
telling
let
you, I'm having
them.
a good time. I'm telling you, the let them theory really does. And I mean, I have sat there and like did the rewind button, several things, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so eye-opening.
Yes.
And it's okay, because even when you say no, you're not in control of another adult's emotions and how they respond to you.
Exactly.
That's not yours to
You,
take
that's
on.
not
Yeah,
your
that's not your
responsibility. It's not
responsibility.
you
That's right.
to navigate.
That's that
You have
fourth part.
said your piece. You
That's
have put your boundary. And if they behave like an 8-year-old, well, that is just on them. You just sit over there and have your temper tantrum, and I'm over here with my boundaries.
What I said earlier, make peace with their reaction.
That's right.
That's that fourth step in setting that boundary. Make peace with it,
Yeah.
whatever it's going to be.
And
It
like,
is what it is.
I like to say, like when you tell somebody no, flip the no on and move on from it. You're done with it. You
Yes.
are done with it. So this is Brew'd, where we pour in and speak up, of course. And of course, every show I want to talk about my girl, Kimberly Seago. And so this would have been a big rivalry week for Kimberly and I, because it's the Georgia-Florida game coming up, and she's a Georgia fan. Of course, I'm a Gator fan. And so I just want to say, Kimberly, for one time, I'm going to say this, go Dogs for you. So join us next month where we pour in and speak up again. Follow us on all our social media channels on YouTube, and we look forward to pouring in and speaking up next month. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.